What about then if someone's just published their first book? What would you say is the best way for them to promote that?
I'd say first, mailing list, and second, take a moment to celebrate that you finished it. I think that that's a milestone where you really irrevocably prove to yourself that, hey, I can finish this. There's always this question beforehand for most people. So I for some reason didn't have this question in my mind. It was always kind of like, I'm going to write this and it's going to be finished. And it was never a doubt. But I think there's a lot of that self-doubt before the book is actually real and finished. And once you hit that publish button and it's done, then you know that you can do it again and again. And then the next thing I would do is start the next book and write that. The faster you get that out, the better you're going to be craft wise. And the money is in the backlist. So the example I'd use is people think that they're going to make all this money from the one book. Let's say best case scenario, you're going to make $1 million from your first book. Sounds great. After taxes, you're at 500,000 for the year. You know, over 10 years, that's 50 grand a year. So you still have to write the next book regardless of whether the first one smashes it out of the park. And let's be honest, that's not going to happen. And if it does happen to you, send me your lottery ticket numbers because I like those as well. But that's not really a strategy, or that's more of a hope. And I think if that can get you over the finish line where you're really hoping that that first book is going to be this mega success, then by all means, use that to your advantage. But once you press publish, right, don't get discouraged by the book not selling. A lot of times it's not going to sell super well. It can, but you don't have the marketing tools and skills in place maybe to sell it to the best of your ability or the best of its potential at that point. So just write the next one and you learn more as you go on and you can apply that later. Also, the book itself may not be at the level where it needs to be to actually compete in the marketplace. Some people, their first books are great and they're of that professional level. And then some people, it takes time. Certainly the first couple books that I wrote, it's not something that was going to be super commercially successful for that reason, but that's okay. You get better and you improve over time, but you can only improve both the marketing and the craft side if you keep publishing. So it's easy to just get locked in to that first book, or if you have a couple books even, or 3 books, you get obsessed with figuring out how to market them and all this stuff. Just start building your mailing list. Do a couple things for the launch, and experiment with different ad platforms or different free or low cost options, whatever, and keep moving. There's not much you can do with just one book.